January the 22nd, I guess the Lord had me in the right place, the right time, with the right commitment. I was president of the Selma City Teachers Association. And then we had agreed that, and I persuaded teachers for the first time to engage in a teachers' march. And so we agreed, after they signed their names to a petition, that we were going to march as a teacher group. And so on January 22nd, we met at Clark Elementary School here, which was the school where I attended the first grade through the sixth grade. We met upstairs, and we marched up a file. My partner was my 10th, 11th, and 12th grade science teacher. His name was Mr. A.J. Durgan. He was the incoming president of the Selma City Teachers Association. And we led that march, teachers, for the first time in the United States, coming down the steps of Clark Elementary School, down Lawn Street, down to Alabama Avenue, down to the courthouse. Teachers, for the first time. Getting down to the county courthouse, that was standing next to the steps, the superintendent of education, the chairman of the board of education, to persuade me, because I was a teacher, to take the teachers back to the school, because we had made a point, and that no longer should we try to pursue that right from that particular point. And I told them we had a right to be at the county courthouse. It was our courthouse. We were not backing down from our right to be there. And I asked the superintendent and the chairman of the board, who signed my check, to step aside. We went up those steps. Jim Clark had his deputies across the door, and he indicated that we were trying to make a mockery out of his courthouse. And we indicated to him that that was our courthouse also. He gave us 1 minute to move off of those steps. At the expiration of that minute, he took the billy club and jabbed us down the steps on the sidewalk. And my partner, Mr. A.J. Durgan, who, as I said, was my teacher, he was not quite used to that stuff like I was. And he asked me on the ground, he said, "What shall we do?" I said, "We are going back." He said, Yeah. And so we went back the second time. We jabbed down the steps after a minute, and he asked me the same question. I gave him the same answer, and he gave me the same response. The third time, when I really was trying to get all the teachers arrested, because teachers were not aware of the tremendous influence. They were the largest black professional group here in Dallas County. And so after going back the third time, he said, "If you don't get off these steps, Jim Clark," said, "we're going to arrest you." I said to myself, "Exactly what I want you to do." And so at about 45 seconds before that minute expired, someone on the inside of the courthouse came and pulled him on the inside of the courthouse door and said, I didn't go in there with him, but I can imagine what they told him. "For goodness sake, don't arrest those teachers."
That's right. What's going on? What's going on? Welcome to the Lineage Podcast. We appreciate y'all joining us this Thursday. It's a great Thursday. It's a great week. Great to be back. We've had a few busy weeks that we have other engagements that we had to engage into. But it's all business. So we appreciate y'all joining us on this Thursday. This is the Bloody Sunday Jubilee Bridge Crossing weekend. We will be down there. We're leaving. Well, I know I'm leaving tomorrow. I think bro leaving tomorrow too.
Yes,
so it's a great weekend that we are a part of. Pretty much our granddad really was the. We're gonna get into all of that. We're gonna get into all that, and why we say we're gonna take it down. Why he is the reason why the Bloody Sunday Bridge Crossing is happening in Selma, Alabama this weekend. But nevertheless, welcome to the Lineage Podcast. Appreciate everybody joining us. If you haven't booked the tour, the FD Reese Historical Tour is getting booked up. Seems like every every other day, a few
Boy,
days. Uh,
man.
uh, Charlene, she the secretary of the foundation. She is sending us, hey, y'all got another tour, y'all got another tour, which is a good thing. Which is a good thing. It's a great thing.
We asked for it, so hey,
Yeah, we asked for it, and here it is.
it's there.
Right, it's there. So book the tour, FD Reese Historical Tour. You can go on www.fdreesefoundation.org to book that. It's a great tour, an unorthodox tour. We will be touring, taking you around Selma and showing you the different highlights of our grandfather and how he impacted those different places that we go around. If you don't have the book, Selma Self-Sacrifice, it is on Amazon. Please pick that up. It's the autobiography of Reverend Dr. Frederick D. Reese, written by himself and Mrs. Kathy Walter. So please get that. Let me see. Do I have any other business, any other bills to pay? I think that might be it. Before we go any further, I know we've been talking about Mr. Voting Rights. He is getting stitched up. Trust me, he'll be ready this month. So everybody keep that in your mind. If you want us to come into your children's, your grandchildren's, your nieces, your nephews' school, hit us up with Mr. Voting Rights. Get us in touch with the school, and we will talk to them and get everything set up so we can keep this education going. Shout out to the people that did the project. I should have put pictures on because a few people sent me that their children or their grandchildren, or whatever, did a project on Granddaddy. I should have put that up. I'll put that up next week. Shout out to the people that did that Black History Project. It's an honor to be able to see the project, and it brings us joy because we share them throughout each other, and it brings us joy to see when you are given the opportunity to choose a Black history person to do your project on. We don't take it lightly that you chose the Reverend Dr. Frederick D. Reese.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. We don't take that lightly. So we appreciate that. We appreciate the love with that. I think that is all the announcements. So y'all already know what we do. Before we get into anything else, we bring First Nurse Kimberly Reese on with the health segment. So we are going to do that. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Welcome back. Lineage Podcast, 30 seconds. Y'all already know how we do. First Nurse Kimberly Reese is here. How your week going, Kim?
It's going pretty good. How you doing, MJ?
Doing good. So I know you got something good for us, so I'm gonna go ahead and get out your way and let you take it.
Okay, happy Thankful Thursday, everyone. I'm here this week to give you your daily or weekly dose of health information. As I mentioned in other topics, as you guys know, food can be medicine. It could either bring life or death to your body. According to a recent article, more than 70% of non organic fresh produce sold in the U.S. contains pesticides. Um, as you see, that's the food that can bring life or death to your body. And the next picture shows that it's representation of the pesticides that's being sprayed over all our foods. So that brings me to this topic: is the food that we eat, is it really safe? Um, of course, we all know that the critical part of health style, healthy living is to eat your fruits and vegetables. I know many people say eat your fruits and vegetables, but the question is it really safe? So this topic is something that I want to discuss. A recent study revealed that there are potentially harmful pesticides found on many fruits and vegetables, even after they are washed, peeled, or scrubbed from the USDA before testing. DownToEarth.org has a list of foods that determines which products has the most pesticides in it, or on it rather. Um, MJ, if you go to the next screen and then the next one. This is the list that the down-to-earth.org has. As you see, peaches are actually the worst fruit rather to have the most pesticides. Right here, you see the scores on the other side. Then the second one is apples. That's 93%. The size of the numbers represents the scores of how much pesticides are actually on that fruit. The third one is bell pepper, sweet bell peppers. Then you have celery, that's 82%. Going to the next screen, then going down as you keep going, the percentage of it actually reduces. Down to the bottom, you see the eggplant. That's only 20% of pesticides on it. Then what mushrooms has 36% of pesticides. Bananas 34%. And the list is pretty much self-explanatory. The best one is actually with the least pesticides are onions. That's only 1%. Then you have avocados, that's 1%. Asparagus, 10%. So I just thought that this list would be an interesting facts. Again, you can go to downtoearth.org. You can look up which fruits or vegetables have the most pesticides, or the ranking of the most toxic to least. Also, in industrial food systems, it says that industrial food systems threaten our health, and that the planet, also 75% of the planet destruction of soil, water, biodiversity, and 50% of greenhouse gas emissions come from industrial agriculture. So when you say industrial agriculture, those are the huge farms that supplies Kroger's and Publix, the giant grocery stores. So that's something to keep in mind. Glyphosate has been known to be a number one pesticide that's sprayed on the plants. That's the name of the actual pesticides. Roundup, that's another name of it. It's actually to the point where it's a gardener that's from California. He was awarded $289 million from getting cancer from working in the, yeah, that's the right one, MJ, from working as a gardener for over years and years and years. He ended up contracting cancer. So I thought that that was something to let you guys be aware of. I have a video that I want you guys to hear for a second too, concerning fake foods that we may be getting in the grocery stores. And MJ, you have that as well.
Together. You don't, when you buy a steak, you think it's a solid steak, but some of the cheap steaks are actually just a bunch of different end pieces, and they have this weird glue, and they glue ends together, and they apparently do it with chicken too. I think that's why it says on a lot of chicken packages, the cheap chicken, this is 15% rib meat.
See that? Don't breathe that in.
Otherwise known as meat glue.
Stay over the top like that. We mix it up.
Then roll it and refrigerate. Ours uncooked, but cooked is another story. And it's not just beef. Pork, lamb, fish, and chicken.
It looks like one piece of chicken.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yep.
But hard to tell, isn't it?
On the grill, it's even harder to pick.
So that's the real McCoy, nice and tender. Let's go to the meat glue. I can't tell the difference.
And chances are you're eating it on a regular basis.
For I think a decade now, have been actually making fake lettuce, fake eggs.
What I thought was even more weird, apparently they glue meat together. You don't, when you buy a steak, you think it's a solid.
I think that's the loop. I thought this video was very interesting, so that's why I shared it with you guys. So now we're going to talk about how to avoid the pesticides and possibly fake food in your diet. Number one thing I would say, shop locally. Go to your mom and pop stores. I know it's not something that a lot of people are used to, but go to the local smaller stores. They actually have fruits and vegetables that are most likely would be to localized farmers that's not for the industry, a bigger pool of fruits and vegetables. Also, look at your packaging that says organic, fresh farm, your health food, your certified 100% fresh products. Look at your packaging. It may be a little bit more expensive, but look for the organic packaging. Also, don't limit your organic products to only food alone. Look for organic body care, such as lotions, that's more organic, things that are natural. Remember, your skin is a number one organ that absorbs a lot of toxins and pollution from air, what you put on it. Also, wash your fruits and vegetable, not with just water, but with also vinegar. It's two methods of the way you can do it. There are two ways. Vinegar, again, is the best product you can use, and baking soda. You can use the spray bottle method. You can mix it with vinegar and water, and then you spray it on your fruits and vegetables. Also, you can soak it. For smaller fruits like berries and cherries, soaking in vinegar as a solution is a way to make sure that the pesticides are soaking off of your fruits and vegetables. And last but not least, when it's all said and done, pray over your food. Bless it. Ask God to have mercy on us. That's all we can do at the end of the day. And that's all I have for you.
We appreciate that. First Nurse Kimberly Reese, you always dropping jewels for us to keep our health intact. Man, that's a lot of good information there. I didn't know that onion is the one with the least pesticides. Wow, and my body and the onions just don't mix. God, man, I hate that.
Gas. You be gas sometimes.
But we'll be right back. We appreciate First Nurse Kimberly Reese. Y'all don't go anywhere. When we come back, me and my brother, we will be discussing the Jubilee and other topics. So we will be right back. Please do not go anywhere. Please, please, please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
All right. Y'all take care.
Persuaded teachers for the first time to engage in a teachers' march. And so we agreed that we were going to march.
Nice.
First of all, serving notice on our nation.
Give him a little bit, man.
Frederick Douglass Reese.
We march. We march. We march.
He said, what shall we do? I said, we are going back. He said, yeah.
Welcome back.
Man, one day you got to sing, man. You got to let them vocals go out, let the people hear your songs, man. You got to just a little bit, just a little taste, an appetizer.
Yeah, but bro, it's gonna be a lag.
It's not a lag. It's just they gonna see it after you do it, but it's not gonna be a lag. You gotta give them some finger food or something,
I do it, but hey, just because people been asking me, I'm getting my website together. I put all my music on there. You'll be able to get it for free and all of that. So
we want a little lives.
No, it's gonna be some live stuff on there too. But I got you.
A little crooning on the live on the lineage, man. Come on now. I guarantee once you give them a little appetizer, they're gonna run to your website and download the music.
That's fact.
Buy the music or whatnot, so just give them a little bit.
That's fact. I get them, son, because you've been saying that here consistently for the last month, man. I gotta do a little something. But speaking of marching, speaking of Selma, Alabama, let's get into the Bridge Crossing Jubilee, which is the celebration. It's been over 50 years. What year is this?
58.
58
right.
year. The Bridge Crossing Jubilee. It's to kind of commemorate and honor Bloody Sunday, which happened on March the 7th of 1965. It was the most famous one that most people know about, even on our tours when they come and do the tours. If they have heard anything about Selma, that is the thing that they know about. That's the event that they do know about and remember, because it aligns with the bridge and everything. So we can kind of talk about that. It's and here on the Lineage Podcast, man, we are very transparent. Even though, and I'll be honest, even though our grandfather I'll say it, he is the bigger percentage of the reason why a lot of those events happen in Selma. We still want to give just due to the other. We don't want to. Our thing is not to overshadow anyone or to not give anyone credit. But me personally, I have mixed feelings about the Jubilee. Mixed feelings about the celebration.
Yeah, well, we walk in truth, man. Truth is just truth. You
Right.
know, truth is not throwing shade. Truth is
Right.
truth. You know what I'm saying? So we as a people have to be able to accept that truth and just digest it, man.
Right.
And that's just real talk. So when we talk, it's not to overshadow nobody or, you know, try to say this person was better than the other person, or they contribute more. We just facts out there. You know,
Exactly.
and you know, I like to say the facts, and I tell people, you know, I love to let people think for themselves. My auntie Valerie taught me this years ago when I first started being minister of music myself. She said, Alan, she said sometimes you have to allow people to think for themselves instead of telling people to stand for praise and worship. You let people think for themselves. If the president came into this room, you're gonna stand. So why don't we stand for the King of Kings and Lord of Lords when we open in praise and worship? So now that person has to go back and say, wow, it's right. Why is it that I stand for the president, but when it's time to worship, I still sit my butt down in the chair? You get what I'm saying? I need to stand. So it holds you accountable and make you think for yourself. And
Right.
and with Granddaddy, when it comes to the Jubilee and Bloody Sunday, if Dr. Reese does not go against Selma and invite and lead the charge to invite Dr. King to Selma, does Bloody Sunday happen in Selma? And do the Jubilee go on in Selma today? No, it doesn't. Those are facts. You know what I'm saying? Those are facts. And if you feel a certain type of way about that, you could just let it simmer in your spirit and get your heart right. But
Right.
those are facts. And I think we have to do a better job to show who the courageous eight were. I know we have some things around the courageous eight, you know, but those individuals need to be the headliner of the Jubilee every year. You know, you have the opening acts, but then you have something called the headliner. And the courageous eight is the headliner of the Jubilee, because without those individuals, agreeing or disagreeing, we do not have this celebration in Selma every year if it weren't for those people. And let's be honest, and Dr. Reese was the president of the Dallas County Voters League and the leader of the Courageous Eight during that time. So those are facts.
Right.
And those facts need to be more exalted and represented better than what it is done today. You know, I appreciate the Jubilee because the Jubilee has it brings money to Selma, it brings the economy to Selma, it brings people from all over the world to Selma, Alabama. But as we grow, it is our job as leaders to continue. The message has to grow and the truth has to grow. And we have to evolve as we learn more. We do, as we learn better, we do better. You know what I'm saying? You know, so that's just how I feel.
Right. And this is the flyer for the Jubilee for this year. Bridge crossing, return to the bridge crossing Jubilee, family gathering to save the vote and the democracy. So like you said, I firmly agree with everything you said. I appreciate the Jubilee. That's why I kind of say I have mixed feelings. It's not about the Jubilee more per se. The celebration to me and what the lack thereof. Because I know a lot of people, y'all may get on here and say, here these grandsons go talking about their grandfather. But I'm gonna tell you, it's a reason why we have to consistently and be resilient in saying things. Because even as of I mean, I ain't gonna put business out there, but even as of this week, it's still certain people that don't get their just due credit. certain programs are trying to go on without the right, let me say, without the right praise, not praise, but without the right attention to the just people, without the right acknowledgement, without the right acknowledgement.
You want to acknowledge a group of people and celebrate a group of people, but you don't tell the families that you're celebrating and acknowledging these groups of people.
Correct.
So, you know, we got to do a better job, man.
Right.
You know, excellence.
And we have to do it because, and the reason we do it is because a lot of the times, and I'll say this, the bridge crossing Jubilee, if you ask people in Selma, let's just keep it a buck, it has been overshadowed. That's an understatement to say it's been overshadowed by a couple of people because of the monetary value that it may bring if you create the narrative around certain individuals. But I beg to differ that I think everything can be inserted in that once. Everyone can get a piece of the pie. It's not about a piece of a monetary pie. What makes me and bro job harder and our family's job harder is because these people, the FD Reeses, the Blackmans, and the Marie Fosters, and the Anderson, and the Hunters, and the Gildersleeves, right? Then the Doors, they don't get the proper credit.
That's right.
So then what happens is now the family got to come, and it's just not about getting the acknowledgments. It's about putting the proper names in the right place in history.
That's right.
And so, and it's not to knock a John Lewis. And this is what gets me. You say John Lewis, I'm gonna paint a little picture of how political it is. Everything was on John Lewis, and God rest his soul. I can disagree with some of John Lewis when he got publicly in front of cameras and didn't say whatever. He did a job. He was the main player. He was a main player in there, and he sacrificed his body. I got the utmost respect for him. I can have the utmost respect for somebody and disagree with them at the same time.
That's right.
I really can. I can have, and that's I have the utmost respect for John Lewis, but at the same time, you got to pull a coattail because John Lewis never spent the night in Selma. He never did.
Yeah. Out of 1965.
He never did.
Yeah.
So he never spent the night in Selma. But then when it comes to things of this nature, when it comes to celebrating the bridge crossing, you go straight to him. You omit Jose Williams.
Omit him.
You omit Jose Williams.
When Jose Williams, they're going to do the march on Sunday. Now, I've done this march plenty. I've been on the front line of the march as a little boy with granddad. I done that march so many times. But what people don't know, it is Jose Williams who came up with the logistics of that march. That march should be known as the Jose Williams March on Bloody Sunday because he came up with the route. And this is something that you can educate the people during that day. You see how easy that is? FD Reese didn't come up with the route to that march.
No,
he didn't come up with the logistics. We'll be lying if we said he did. It was Jose Williams. You get what I'm saying? So why not teach the people when you got thousands of people out there at that moment, full of black, white, brown, purple, green, whatever? That's a teachable moment. We want to let y'all know it was Jose Williams who came up with the logistics of this march that we're about to take from Brown's Chapel to the Edmonds Pettus Bridge.
Correct.
Do you know how many people you can teach every year off that, bro?
Come on, man. The problem is, and that was the exact, I'm glad you said it, exact point I'm getting to. We omit Jose Williams because he didn't play the political game. That's why he's omitted.
Well, you know why he omitted? It ain't even just that. He was doing like we doing. He talked against some individuals where he said about Jesse Jackson after Dr. King was killed and what he said Jesse Jackson did, and he wanted to fight Jesse Jackson behind that because Jesse Jackson straight out lied. This is why they omit Jose Williams from history. And that's just from the civil rights movement. And that has to stop. It is a shame. It is blasphemy against that man for the enforcer that he was, MJ.
Right.
People don't realize that man was the enforcer. He went to the different cities and got things stirred up before everybody else came.
Mm-hmm.
And we treat him like he's a second-class civil rights leader. And it's a shame that they do Hosea Williams like that. It's a shame.
Correct. They do Jose Williams like that, and basically that's basically it's a lot, man. We could sit here and talk for hours about the disingenuousness of the Jubilee celebration that has come. And from a personal standpoint, what has not been done for the individuals that were there, that stayed there after all of that. Like we said, your Gildersleeves, your Hunters, and your Marie. And they did work until they passed. Miss Marie Foster was driving, still trying to get people to register to vote, and she was an older lady, didn't need to be driving.
That's when Perkins won the first time.
Correct.
Come on, man.
That was in 2000.
That was in 2000. Come on.
And so what happens is,
and they have the, I'm sorry, I cut y'all.
No, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
And they have the audacity to come to these folks' city,
right?
And don't talk about these people. Yeah, they say courageous 8, but I'm talking about the masses. I'm talking about during the festivals. Mm-hmm. It should be 1 year we're dedicating this Jubilee to Marie Foster. From the time you walk in,
right,
to the hot dog stands, to everything, you get some information on Marie Foster.
Correct.
The next year we're gonna do Gildersleeve.
Right.
We're gonna let the people know who Gildersleeve was. He was the vice president. I mean, he was the secretary of the Dallas County Voters League. So this year we're gonna give this Jubilee to Gildersleeve, Mr. Doyle. He was the vice president of the Dallas County Voters League. So this year, everywhere you go, you need to learn about Mr. Doyle. See, it's not hard to do that, bro, but when you have individuals who have other what's the word?
Ulterior motives.
Ulterior motives. Who do not want truth to be told. This is what you get. And that has to change. We used to be I'm excited about the Jubilee. Don't get me wrong. I like the Jubilee. But when we was younger, we were way more excited about it. But as we start learning, what's going on,
right,
come on, has to change. We have to do better. It's not just about the money. Selma has an obligation to teach history around the world. The world comes to Selma more this weekend than before. When are we going to start teaching? When are we going to say, look, all the outsiders, we appreciate y'all contributions, but we're going to start teaching about the people in Selma.
Correct. But you know what? As we and not to take none away from the Jubilee, but FD Reese Day is March 21st every year, and we will be down there on the 19th. On the 19th. But as we grow FD Reese Day, we're gonna make it our business to implement things of that nature,
right,
to give praise to the local leaders in Selma, because sometimes with the Jubilee, it gets overshadowed. Because I never remember 1 year this guy came. We had a stand. I think we were selling the first year. We were selling apparel, and he didn't know who Amelia Boynton was. He didn't know who Marie Foster was. He didn't know who none of it was. He didn't know who Jose, but he knew John Lewis. So I'm sitting here like, now wait a minute. You come to Selma. See, this is where Selma has to do a better job. There is no reason that anyone should come to Selma and not know about the Dallas County Voters League, the Courageous 8. There's no reason.
And that was my main reason why I said that it should never be the John Lewis bridge. It should never be. If we're gonna change the name of that bridge, best believe it's gonna be somebody from Selma, Alabama.
Correct.
Best believe that.
Correct.
It's gonna be hell and hot water.
Right.
First of all, they ain't gonna change them cats in Selma. Ain't gonna let it happen.
No, they ain't having that. They ain't having it.
At the same time, if you got the audacity to sit from wherever you sit in the nation and think that you're going to get a petition and think that you're going to change the name of the bridge in Selma and you're going to keep it as a Martin Luther King Bridge or John Lewis Bridge, someone like that, you out your mind.
You out your mind.
You out your mind. Mm-hmm. It's simple as that. It's simple as that. It's going to be someone in Selma, Alabama. If not, it's going to stay Edmonds Pettis Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that, bro. So because we the generation's going, we gonna educate you. A lot of them was quiet, but we like, nah, man, you ain't finna do our parents and grandparents like that.
Not finna do it.
The disrespect.
Right.
So disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we could do something for John Lewis and Troy. We've done great with Martin Luther King in Atlanta.
Of course.
Right. So when you come to Selma, you're gonna learn something new.
Right. Because I have no problem as I drive around Atlanta.
I don't have no problem.
I see the John Lewis pictures and I see the Martin Luther King pictures and I see that. I love it.
That's right.
I love it. But then at the same time, when you come to Selma now, I shouldn't see more of John Lewis than the Courageous Eight.
Shouldn't. No, sir.
I shouldn't.
Come on, LJ. Hey.
I shouldn't, bro. All these murals and stuff, these paintings and things. When we gonna paint some Courageous Eight murals on all these buildings down here?
Mr. Shannon, Mr. Reverend Hunter,
right?
You know, Mr. Them at? Give us that,
right?
Million Boynton, Marie Foster, and of course FD Reed.
You think because you gave them a street name, that's it? No, sir.
No, sir. We ain't satisfied.
Because what's happening, bro? What's happening is people are coming to Selma. And they don't listen.
They don't know, y'all. We do tours. They don't know.
They don't know.
They don't know. Look, when we do tours, these people go back to Spain and Boston and LA and because they come there saying it should be the John Lewis Bridge.
Right.
They come there. I'm telling you, but about time they get done with a tour with us, they agree with us like, oh yeah, I see why.
They are floored.
We know this. So what I'm saying is that I think that, you know, what we have to do when we have an opportunity to educate, because we have that small window, MJ, of every time Selma is kind of on a national scale right now, we have that small window. We can't talk about Martin Luther King, John Lewis now. We got to start talking about F.D. Reese, Doyle, Blackman, Reverend Hunter, Shannon, Marie Foster, Million Boynton, Blackman. All those people need to be, and Shannon, all those need to be talked about.
Even J.L. Chestnut.
J.L. Chestnut, Reverend L.L. Anderson.
L.L. Anderson.
Fred Shuttlesworth.
See, a lot of these.
We can go down the line. They weren't a part of the Courageous Eight, but they were very instrumental of the movement for Black people, by Black people. That's just the truth. So that's just real talk.
And you're 100% right. When you come to Jubilee, when you cross that bridge, it should be all about Selma.
Once you leave Montgomery, once you leave Loudoun County, Interpretive Center, there you go. But and see, MJ, this is what happened. See, it's just like Sleepy Joe Biden finna be in Selma. President Biden.
Right.
Now I told Mel Perry, hey, he need to bring the checkbook. Especially after this tornado. They have not done right by Selma, Alabama. I'm tired of seeing Democratic presidents come to Selma and take these these photo ops. I'm tired of it. And Selma looks the same as it did, if not worse than it did in 1965. Because they stopped at the bridge, they turned their motorcades back around, they head right back to Montgomery or Craig Field, whatever Air Force One or Marine One is part. Probably Marine One at Craig Field and go to Montgomery, Air Force One at Montgomery. I don't know what they at. Right. But at the same time, I'm tired of this. They take a picture by the bridge, speak at the bridge, and that's it. Selma is more than the bridge, bro. Selma is the movement of the Voting Rights Act. And it was beyond the Edmonds Pettis Bridge. Because that's why I love taking people around our tours, because I want their cars to hit these potholes. I want them to feel it. I want them to go see the abandoned buildings. I want them to go see how America has truly forgotten about Selma. And we talking about Democrats now. We're talking about Democrats. I want people to see. I've been voting Democrat all my life. But I'm talking, we got to learn how to start voting policies to get out of emotions. We talking about Democrats been coming to Selma for how long, saying that we love Selma and has not given Selma no money.
Right.
I don't want them to donate to a foundation and let the foundation and the money get lost in the foundation.
No.
I don't want that. I want them to come, if they got to come down in themselves and fix the streets and the buildings and all that. But it's time for a change. Stop using Selma. It's gonna come a point of time. There's gonna be a mayor that's gonna come one day and say, "You're not invited."
Right. Right.
If you can't do right by us, you're not invited. Because the celebrity activists didn't do right about Selma. They left and took the money to Atlanta. Yep. Atlanta has benefited from the Selma movement more than Selma.
Right. Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
And it's truth right here.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous, man. So people come and a lot of people that's on here that haven't been in Selma and don't know about the Jubilee. If you came to Selma, people are more worried about they Polish sausages and their turkey legs and they funnel cakes, which is okay because it gets the dollar circulating in Selma. So the Jubilee, I can imagine, it brings Selma some money because the hotels are booked, the restaurants they get flooded. So it does the Jubilee does help Selma in a monetary aspect in those few days, but at the same time, in a knowledge aspect, in a history aspect, we don't do Selma any justice if we just bringing people down here for a Polish sausage and we're not giving them the real history of Selma. So the powers that be in Selma have to kind of change the way they do things and the way they carry out certain events and things of that nature, like the Jubilee. Because if not, then you're doing Selma a disservice for the long run because you're so worried about the Polish sausage and the turkey legs. And you're not worried about the real history, because there should be no reason someone comes to Selma during the Jubilee and not know about the Dallas County Voters League, the Courageous Eight, JL Chestnut, and all of that nature. There's no, and then let's be honest, you have family members that stay in Selma that can give you all the history you need.
That's right.
Just post up all the history you need. Now, I really want to go to the city council myself on another note, and we finna get the LD Reese statue. I'm putting it out there. This is just the start of it. We finna get a statue, my own, for my own. It's not my own selfish endeavor, but to get Granddaddy where he need to be. I see murals and concrete face creations of other people in Selma. No disrespect to them, and I don't see one of FD Reese, so that will have to change. But that's just my own.
I want to say this to the people: stop allowing the politicians to come here and prey on your emotions of Selma, Alabama. Look, this generation, Granddaddy generation, got the vote, and I'm gonna be real. And some people not gonna like what I got to say right here, but I'm gonna speak from the depth of my heart. My grandfather now got the vote. That generation kind of tend to vote for a particular party because of the emotions of that party giving them the vote, or let's say leading the vote for getting them the vote. But our generation don't have an excuse. We have to start voting policy. Okay, we as Black people tend to vote, and everybody tend to benefit before us, but they use our vote, they use Selma, they use all the movement, the video and all this stuff to prey on our emotions. Okay, and I'm to the point to stop, even Democrats, stop using that bridge as a tool to show, to sway people what way to vote. Because your grandmama or your granddaddy got beat on this bridge for you to have the right to vote. Well, my party gave them the right to vote. This the way you should vote. No, I want to vote off what you doing for us today.
Right.
Our grandfather and them didn't get knocked down on that bridge for us to vote for people who continue to look over us.
Mm-hmm.
That's just real talk.
Yeah, now you're 100% right. Basically, you're saying
today, Joe Biden, I voted for him. But at the same time, the reality is that the black people don't have a crime bill. Let's say I'm going to speak about that this weekend. Why don't black people have a crime bill, but the Asian people got a crime bill? Huh? Why don't black people have police reform? Why don't we have police reform in America? Why are we still fighting for that off 18 years? Let's talk about that. If Joe Biden want to come to Selma, Alabama, I dare see it. I don't have passes.
Right.
And they're not fool enough to give me one. But if you're gonna speak to the president, man, have some real conversations to him while he up, conversations with him while he up there. And then if he don't want to talk about it, tell us. Hey man, he don't want to talk about it. Well, guess what? We're gonna let him know we appreciate him not want to talk about it or do nothing about it when we go to these polls in 2024. I'm not voting for a Democrat anymore just because my grandfather now got beat on the bridge. And because the Democrats voted to give us the right to vote because they had the control of the Senate, the House, and the presidency. I'm voting for policy. And I need us as black people to start coming together as a community, voting for what's best for us. The Asian community do it. The Latino community do it. Everybody else do it. Look, every group, and we're not minorities, we're imports and goods. But every minority group, every immigrant group come here, they look at the struggle of what the civil rights movement, the voting rights movement did. But guess what they do? They vote together, bro. They don't do like us. And they gonna vote for their interests. And that's what black people got to understand. So I want someone to have the kahunas. When Joe Biden bring that, he need to bring about $500 million to Selma, Alabama, to check from the federal government to Selma, Alabama, especially after this darn tornado. Do not allow gentrification. Let's talk about president, even though you're gonna bring this check, but we don't want this gentrification to happen here either.
Right.
Let's have some real hard conversations with this government when they come to Selma. If that can't happen, look, man, our vote is up for sale, and because y'all won't listen to us, guess what? We're moving our vote collectively. If you can't,
because you're saying like the Democrats show the video of Bloody Sunday when them getting beat, and just hypothetically, and the Republicans won't. So basically, I get what you're saying. You're saying that because the Democrats would kind of sway on emotions and show it, then it'll get the hearts of people and say, you know what, my grandmama was on this bridge. Right.
She died on this bridge, and they gave her the right to vote. And most of the Democrats tend to talk about it and tend to have that conversation about it. But guess what? When it's time for them to pass laws, see, it's not about our vote, what they're gonna do with their vote. When it's time for them to do something with their vote, after we didn't vote them in, they vote get lost and find it for what black folks need. And yeah, I said black people. It's okay for us to say that we got to do something for black Americans. What is the group we just created for the Latino community, for the interest of the Latino community? They doing stuff for the interest of the Latino community.
Correct.
Okay, good.
Right.
So
that's right.
So when we say do something for black people, no, all minorities, no. No. We are the descendants of slaves. You need to talk about reparation. Let's talk about some hard topics. Let Selma stand up and be who Selma is. And they're gonna continue to forget about us. At least you're gonna still hear our mouth.
Right.
We're gonna start moving away. Because guess what? Let me tell you something about them folks in Selma. They start moving a certain way, the nation gonna follow. If them folks wake up and see what's going on, we can move mountains, bro.
Right.
Selma stand up and take the leading role like we need to do and start holding these politicians accountable by their actions, not by their word, by their actions. People say forgive. I don't forgive a politician. We remember. We remember how you voted. We remember what you said and what you said you was gonna do and what you didn't do. Remember, we got MJ. I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. We got to wake up. Like Graham said, I wasn't just satisfied with getting the vote. What we gonna do with the vote? What MJ? What we gonna do with our vote and our vote? Our vote and our voice. And I don't care if people don't like us. It's the truth. Because 30 years down the road, y'all gonna say them boys was right. Stop voting for people that lie and say they got your interest, your livelihood, your interest in your livelihood when they truly don't. They playing with your vote, Democrat or Republican. And last time the word of God said, and God had a conversation with Satan. After a while, I'm gonna look at the racist white man and say, look, we'll keep your racist, all your little racist things, policies together, but what can you do for black people? If you can do this for black folks and you want to stay racist and stuff, we'll make sure our laws get passed.
Right.
How they do it?
Right.
That's how they do it, bro. So when we gonna play the game?
Bro, devil's advocate, you know how our community is. Just us meeting with them, they gonna counsel you because you take a meet.
Just because you meet with them. Stop being get out the circus. Stop being a part of the agenda. You keep us separated, man. They keep us separate for a reason, because we'll be powerful if we just come together. Like FD Reese them did. We talk about the Jubilee. I know we on the Jubilee for a long time, but the Jubilee is supposed to be the celebration of what happened during the movement. So we got to be teaching what's going on in the movement and the truth about it. The truth is the SCLC, the Dallas County Voters League, and SNCC didn't get along.
Right.
That is the truth. We got the paperwork.
Right.
We got the paperwork where the vice president of the Dallas County Voters League was getting Abernathy told.
Right.
He told her, I ain't finna get in a pissing contest with you about what is due for Selma, Alabama. The door was standing on his loins against Abernathy and Martin Luther King, the SCLC. But guess what? At the end of the day, behind closed doors, like FD Reese said, he was a mediator. He had to mediate them to get the job done. It is okay for us to disagree on different things, bro. But as long as we get behind closed doors, get the job done. Everything ain't meant to be on social media.
Facts.
Stop telling everybody your moves.
Facts.
Every time you get something done, stop telling them who you met with and what your plans are. Come on, man.
Yeah, that goes with anything. Because what then Michael Jordan choked Steve Kerr, but get what, they got 3 wings together. And it didn't come out the years and years down the road of the fight they had in the locker room. So yeah, you can disagree with each other, but if you keep the main thing, keep the common goal in mind. Once you get out in Front Street, you're on one accord and you're unified. That's what they don't want to see. So they want to see the locker room fights on display to kind of keep us separated. So you're 100% right. You know, we're gonna be preaching this about the Selma just do, and about how the nation has forgotten about Selma, and how Selma has forgotten about FD Reese. That's just it is what it is, man. So we in a peculiar situation. So when you hear us talk about this all the time, just know that we know that it's I ain't gonna say it's non-personal, because it is personal. But the main objective is to get the truth out there in anytime we see fit, and it helps when we have receipts. Like bro said, we have the missing pieces to everything, and it's good to see the reaction when the people do get the truth and we put it together. Is no doubt in their mind that we don't know what we're talking about. Because like bro said, most of the people that come to Selma, they only know about the bridge. And if you're in Selma this weekend and you ask majority of the people you may run into on the street, that is going to be their same sentiment. They know about the bridge. They don't know why they're here. They don't know why it's Selma. They don't know why Selma was the place. They don't know why Dr. King was there. They don't know why John Lewis was there. They don't know why Brown Chapel is the mother church. They don't know none of it, y'all. So it is our job to educate them. And as we educate you all, I will submit that you pass the message along. So yeah, it's go ahead.
I guess the only thing I would say that I wish that we heard more of is the I wish the lies that were told were being combative as they were being told. And that's the only thing, man. And that's what we do. You know, when you read in history, man, we got to stop. When we let's go back to the history of Booker T. Washington, Du Bois, man. Um, both of these men were great, had different mindsets on how things should be approached and how black people should be implementing society. But we tend to fuss about those two different mindsets. And what we don't do, we don't look and say, if we listen to both, it's a way to get both of those mindset and move together. Then the next, I look at the next generation like Booker T. Washington, Du Bois. You got to take Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. What they won't teach us is that Malcolm X on February the 5th came and spoke at Brown's Chapel. We don't hear about that enough. We hear so much about how much they disagree on the methods that at the end of the day, they don't talk about how even Malcolm X disagreed with Martin Luther King. He still showed up and said, I wanted to show my brother I still got his back if he need me.
Right.
We don't do that, bro. And that type of leadership is needed today. We'll sit here, our biggest leaders today will sit there and be at odds. I look at Dr. Umar is one of our biggest leaders, and I can't call another one, but sometimes they be so much at odds to say, man, let's just stop being at odds with each other and let's work on what we agree on, because what happens is when we at odds, the people who follow us are at odds. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And when we're at odds, the message gets distorted. It's not one way. I would never tell a person it's vote or die. I would never tell a person all it is vote and it handles everything. That's bananas. Like I teach, man, vote. Invest into your community. Stay in your community. Stop saying when I get older, I'm going to leave my community. One thing I pride on is my wife and I buying a house less than a mile away from my parents' house. My kids go to the same elementary that I went to. I pride myself on it. That means our dollar is staying in our community.
Right.
That's a part of it. Another part of it, hold your politicians accountable. Go to school board meetings. Another part of it is fix your home. We talk about the Jubilee, man. These people, it was more than just a vote. This was a community of black people that we don't see today, bro.
Correct.
They truly believed in the village raised the kids. We don't see that no more. We got the mindset, don't say nothing to my child. And that weakens us as a community, Jay.
Yeah.
And we have to study, just don't study Dr. King and F.D. Reese about the movement. Study their life. Study the family life, the whole shebang, bro. And that has to change, man. It really does. That's power, bro. That's wealth. Family and togetherness and moving as a community, that's wealth in the community, bro. That's true wealth. True community wealth. We don't talk about community wealth. We talk so much about individual. My bag, my house, my education. This is all mine. Like a kid at his birthday party and somebody took their cake. Crying. My is my part. I can cry when I want to. That's the type of people we are. But I'll tell you this, the sharecropper generation of black people was stronger and more together than we are today.
Facts. During segregation.
Yeah. Some things about segregation weren't bad, MJ. It wasn't. But when we desegregated, we lost a lot of our culture with that, bro. That we didn't teach and keep it because of what was taught in the church and what was taught in the home. It's all about self. The worst thing that happened to black people is when they started teaching them about what the American dream was. Man, erase the American dream in your mind. Get your culture back, man. Get your culture back as want to be married to each other at a young age, want to build something, want to see each other grow, seeing each other fail, not fail, but learn. See each other struggle, go through the struggle together. Go get a wife or a husband and not have money together, come from the gutter together and grow together. And then both of y'all prospering together. And your kids seeing that. And you see your brother go through that and you go and help your brother.
Right.
You see your kids, you tell your kids, come stay with me. Start over, hit the reset button. That's true community wealth. That's the generation of granddad and them.
Right.
And that's when we had wealth as a people. It's not all about money, man.
Yep.
It's so much that the black people have been broken and torn apart that we need to put back together. And a vote can't do it. Just a vote can't do it.
Right. That's right.
I'm done.
100%, bro. I let you roll on. We appreciate y'all staying with us, man. Jubilee is this weekend in Selma, Alabama. If you are there, we'll be there. You see us, stop us, holler at us, man. You want to know more about the history? We got you. We're gonna have a busy weekend, but we appreciate y'all staying with us. And shout out to our team, man. Our team in this season, man, is really working. Our team is expanding. I know a few people on here is part of the team. They've really been helping us out, and really helping us open doors and doing the work behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see. But by us being the face of it, man, personally, we appreciate y'all. Just to be honest, and greater are the rewards in the future. You're only as good as your team. I know, people see us on the podcast every week, and they think we do it all. But it's not the case. It's a lot of people. I can't think of to mention them all right now. But we appreciate y'all. Appreciate all the love and support. We have the tours. We haven't done the Zoom call in a couple of weeks. Like I said, our schedule has been increased. We're gonna get back to it, and we'll keep it rolling.
I got one more thing to say. I want to challenge some people this week. I challenge an adult who parents, married couples, or single people. I challenge you to get with a friend or a neighbor that you know that they're having problems with their kids. And I challenge you to build a relationship with them, and y'all have a pact to hold each other kids accountable.
Yes, sir.
I challenge that this week. That's my challenge. That you find a neighbor or your child's friend at school, you meet their parent, and you say, y'all make an agreement with each other. We as parents gonna allow each other to hold each other kids accountable. We've missing that in our community, accountability.
That's right.
People of authority. Even my dad today taught me this. As a grown man at 37 years old, son, you still better respect people's age. I still respect my elder, and I respect people's age. Even though I'm a grown man. Take care of my own family. Me and my wife take care of our own family. But we still gonna respect their age, bro. Right. So I challenge people today, because we as Black people have to get back to community-based structure. Growing up, I remember growing up, grandma's house had 2 and 3 families in it. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody made sure everybody was okay. You wonder why people check out of here? Because they feel like they're alone. See, they're not in the house no more with you. You don't see them struggle.
Right.
They're struggling in their own house alone, and they're crumbling because we've taken away the family, the togetherness, family away out of our lives, out of our culture. That was our culture.
Mm-hmm. Facts, bro. Facts.
I challenge you to bring back true Black culture in our
Mm-hmm.
in our schools, our churches, in our homes. I dare
Mm-hmm.
you.
That's
Dare
facts. Before we get out of here, I gotta give a special shout out to our grandmother,
you.
who
92 years.
turned 92
Yes, she did.
on February the 24th.
Yep.
Um, Great celebration. Um,
Mhm.
grandma has always been a lady that walked in wisdom. Anytime she opened her mouth, you got to
Mm-hmm.
listen. She gonna
That's right.
drop a jewel,
She
and
gonna drop a
even in her age now, you know,
Mm-hmm.
she gonna drop a jewel. Grandma be getting on me sometimes because I don't see as much as I should, but I'll take that, grandma, all day. You right all the time, grandma. And I will say this: you said um about respecting the age at grandma's celebration. I'll be 40 in July, and we have a. It's not a friend; it's our family. Pastor Don Thomas and his wife, Lavon Thomas. Sister Lavon, um, she was waiting on her ride, and she wanted me and my wife. She said, "No, I'll just sit here. Y'all can go." Now, mind you, everybody else is leaving. And when you said respect age, I had a little, just by saying this, I said, "Well, Sister Lavon, you know, I had to listen to you when I was, coming up and take your advice when I was 14, 15." I said, "So I would appreciate if you kind of
Mm-hmm.
take my advice and let me and my wife stay. You can sit in our car till your ride come." And she accepted it. And I still remember when I was saying that, I still had a little nervousness in my heart
Mm-hmm.
before I said it. And it was not because I'm scared to say it. I'm fearless. But I respected her authority and her age so much
That's
that
right.
I didn't even want to go against her own feelings. But I
Mm-hmm.
knew at that moment the best
Mm-hmm.
decision for her safety
That's right.
was to stay with it. And she sat in the car and we had great conversation. Her ride came about 40 minutes later. And me and my wife was in there and our youngest daughter, and we had great conversation, man.
That's right.
And we went down memory lane
Mm-hmm.
and how long she's known. I said, yes, I was 14, I'll be 40 in July. And she was taking it back like it's been that long.
Yeah.
So yeah, the respect factor, you're 100% right. That's part of our culture.
Mm-hmm.
That's really part of our culture that, and I will say that some cultures don't have. We that when you say granddad's culture, we always respected that age. We respected that position.
Better.
It's to
Better.
this day, it's yes, ma'am. To this
Yes.
day,
Yes.
yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I'm gonna get that respect. So that is part of our culture. The Black family was always at the top of our culture.
That's right.
We have lost that. And when people say part of the Black culture, if it's Black family not at the top of it, then you ain't talking about nothing else that comes beyond it. I don't
We
care
teach.
about no music. I don't care about none of that.
That's right.
If
We
it ain't
teach.
Black family first,
Yeah, man.
you ain't talking about nothing.
We teach the wrong thing. We're backwards now, and,
Right.
and the mindset has been implanted in us on purpose to weaken the Black family because above everything Black people in America has been through, the Black
Mm-hmm.
family has always stayed intact.
Correct.
So for Black people to not reach the apex, let's say that, like Grenade
Mm-hmm.
said, the apex of the bridge, the
Right.
apex of what they can be, the top, I have to always put some type of disease in the Black family, the mindset,
Correct.
to stir them away from being together as one, as a family.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we
Mm-hmm.
teach our young ladies now to, when they graduate from high school, college, go live your life. Don't worry about no husband that'll come in your 30s. Then they get 30s and they realize that, well, my biological clock is ticking. Then you see a lot of kids born out of wedlock. Where
Mm-hmm.
if we teach our young ladies to, it's okay to be married young.
Correct.
MJ, bruh, I say this, it's okay to struggle.
It is.
let's stop trying to keep our kids from the struggle.
Right.
Because trying to keep them from the struggle and save them all the time don't allow for them to work out and build strength.
Correct.
How do you build strength? How you build your muscles up when you're working out? Well, you got to put some heavy weights on it, brother.
Got to.
You got to put some weights on it. You got to put some strain on you. You so resistance. Resistance is important to gain growth, bro.
That's fact.
And we have become a people of trying to keep resistance from our kids. And that is the reason why they're failing. You get what I'm saying?
100%.
So what I'm saying is just be there to help, to assist. Watch our parents watch us struggle from afar. Man, without the struggle, me and my wife wouldn't be as close as we are today.
Facts.
We had the struggle.
Yeah.
Because it brought us close.
You
know, like it's a son closer than most.
Right.
It brought us close, bro. We have to talk about these things. Stop trying to shield them from the struggle.
That's right.
It's needed. It's needed. Let's stop it. Parents, stop trying to save your kids.
Yeah, you don't need to save them from the struggle. You guide them through it.
You guide them through it. That's how the word is. God don't always save people. He guide them through it. He there with you. David danced his clothes off.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Look at Job. He guided Job through that struggle. He could have miraculously saved him, but no, it's not a lesson in that, bro. The lesson is for me, the struggle that I've gone through with me and my wife is that guess what? Can't nobody tell me about Kimberly Dion Jolly Reese. I know who she is. That's what the struggle do. And I'm sure you feel the same way about your wife.
100% right. 100% right.
And all this stuff we hear on the internet, all this modern thinking and all this, man, as a man that's been with his wife 13 going on 14 years, been with Kim, be 17 years this year. All that junk they be talking is a bunch of crap. And all the women and men who talk all this junk are not married. And but they got all the answers. Come on, man. The struggle is needed, MJ.
100%.
It's needed.
100%.
What mama there say? Paps. We got a lot of paps out here. I can't tell her what it say. Tell her what it means. Goddamn paps.
Oh, punk ass parents.
My mama there created that one, boy. That hey.
My bad. Hey, grandma listening. My bad, grandma. I had to say it.
But it is. To go back to the Jubilee, I just don't want us to study just the marches and the movement. I want you to look at the culture of Black people then. Do Black people have that same identity now? And the answer is no.
100%.
And that's our problem. That generation gave us too much.
Facts. That's fact.
And that's the
I know we've been over, man. We gonna get on up out of here. We appreciate everybody joining us. Appreciate everybody that support us and everything that we're doing. Continue to support us, man. We're gonna continue to show love. We will be back next Thursday, but Tuesday we got the Zoom call coming up, and we're gonna keep y'all posted on everything we got going on. So have a good night, have a good weekend, and we'll see y'all later.